Infestations have just arrived to Fallout 76, and I want to talk about them. So first off, what are infestations? Well, on the map now, you'll sometimes see these large, huge green circles which take up a massive area of the map. And somewhere within that green circle, a new group of enemies has taken over a certain location. Like maybe they've taken Morgantown or Berkeley or a third location which I can't think of the name of now. They've just taken over a smaller but still fairly decent portion of the map. So previously you may have had Scorched there, now you've got super mutants. Maybe it used to be raiders and now it's robots. A different enemy type will now be there, and they will be a fair sight stronger than standard enemies. On top of this, they will also have a boss enemy hidden somewhere within them. These bosses hold powerful weapons, they're fully armoured, they have a huge health bar that will appear as a big boss health bar on the screen. They're very much a huge step above standard enemies. Like, even just the standard enemies for infestations are already about 2 times as strong as their regular counterparts. But of course, with stronger enemies comes better rewards. The main thing in terms of rewards seem to come from looting the boss themselves when they die, and some of the enemies around them, because some of the enemies, unfortunately not easily identified, will have 3-star legendaries on them. You can get easily half a dozen 3-star legendaries per infestation. The boss, however, will have a guaranteed 4-star legendary, and for infestations they have included some unique effects that you'll only get from infestations, not from anywhere else that you can get a 4-star. So if you want to get every effect, then you're going to need to do these. There's also just other really good loot on these boss enemies. I notice mystery bobbleheads every time, mystery magazine packages, treasure notes, gold bullion which you get from treasure notes, treasure maps, chems, just a lot of good loot from them, so they are worth killing. These infestations will make an area of the map significantly more challenging for a while, and here's the point where we come to the slight problem, because these are supposed to be a big difficulty spike. They're supposed to show that a big, strong, tough enemy has kind of muscled their way into a certain part of Appalachia and is now in charge. The problem is this is Fallout 76, so everyone just swarms the location and tears the enemies to shreds. The longest I've seen an infestation go on, I think is 5 minutes. And that was a long one. I was like, wow, I can't believe we haven't killed the boss yet. 5 minutes is as long as I saw it go on. And I've seen this exact same thing happen before when Headhunt showed up with the whole bounty hunting system, where as soon as a Headhunt public event occurred, everyone would fast travel there. The second the enemy teleported in, there'd just be 7 people with ridiculously overpowered weapons all shoot at it all at once, and within 10 seconds, it's dead. There have already been multiple times where I fast travelled to an infestation and it ended during the loading screen. And I want to point out, my loading times aren't long. I'm actually going to have footage on screen right now showing unedited how long my load times are. And yeah, by the time I've got there, the infestation's long over. Additionally, when you're on a public team, you get notified when a teammate has found an infestation, so you can jump straight to them, which is a very good measure to kind of help people get there. But it doesn't work when the time between a teammate finding an infestation and the infestation ending is single-digit number of seconds, 1 to 9 seconds and it's over. It's no loading time is that fast, unfortunately. So it's a bit annoying, because you can't engage with infestations unless you happen to get lucky and either be the first person there, or the boss is just hidden well enough that general players can't find them straight away. Now, my very first infestation boss I found on my own, and it looked like it could be a challenging fight. I got a few sniper shots at it. I'm playing as a slight variant of my bounty hunter build. I'm a casual player, but I'm fairly good at the game. I've played a fair bit of it, I know what I'm doing, I've got decent weapons, but I'm not ridiculously overpowered, and I was like, oh yeah, this feels like a challenging fight. But then after about 30 seconds of me fighting this boss, I want to say, a dozen or so very high-level players all arrived and tore the boss to shreds. It did not stand a chance. It went from me being like, okay, I'm going to have to use chems, I'm going to have to use cover, I'm going to have to think about this, to, oh no, it's over. It's just over. That's it. It's done. I was actually originally planning on making this video something different. It was going to be a "Is Fallout 76 difficult now?" style video, because it feels like the devs have tried to put in more challenging enemies and more challenging encounters and stuff over and over and over again. But the problem always remains that, just by nature of being a multiplayer game, difficulty will vary based on the number of players around and how strong those players are. Like, if a group of 4 or 5 low-level, like under level 50 players showed up at an infestation, I don't think they'd stand a chance. They would get shredded, they would have such a hard time, they wouldn't be able to take down the boss. Like, if they could, it would be more of like a FromSoft style thing, where it would be like Night Raid, where you've just got this huge enemy that you have to keep slogging at, you have to dodge out the way, you have to use everything at your disposal. It would be insanely difficult. But as you'll see in this video, whenever a bunch of players who are like level 1000 and plus show up with their "I've spent 500 hours grinding for the perfect legendary weapon," it's just trivially easy, because they just hold down their mouse button or their trigger and the enemy disintegrates. It's a bit frustrating, but I do want to clarify that this is a good update. I've already had a couple of cool experiences, I like the idea. Even with my complaints about it, it is still good and a positive step. This isn't me being like, oh, why did Bethesda do this? This is me being, it's a shame that just the nature of how things are means that this isn't as good as it could be right now. I actually want to highlight that my favourite infestation so far was around Morgantown, like all of Morgantown area, the university, just the back streets, just all of that. There were super mutants infesting it, and it was so cool, because I got to be like a rooftop sniper, I was jumping up high, I was spotting behemoths with like the tag function, which let the huge number of ridiculously overpowered players on the ground know where they were, and start charging towards them and disintegrating, but I was able to pick off super mutants that other players weren't noticing. It was really, really cool. Problem was, right at the very end, we were all kind of going different ways looking for the boss, and I didn't happen to be around when the boss was found, so the boss was instantly killed by others, and I got no good rewards. I think I got a little bit of experience, and probably some caps for the quest rewards, but that was it. I didn't get the 4-star, I didn't get anything like that, because the bosses just instantly die. You have to be right there with them, or else you're not getting anything. And it's a real shame, because I really enjoyed that whole battle. But that was also the infestation that I was around for, which I got the worst rewards, because I was far away from enemies, I was playing a very support style of character during that, and it just meant I got nothing pretty much as a reward. Like, I love the idea of this update, but any compelling challenge is just lost to overpowered builds and a dozen players all attacking a single enemy at once. And I don't think Bethesda can really deal with that, because they've already put in what is the most challenging part of the game, which are the raids, which I still haven't actually completed. In my defense, I only tried them like once or twice with Kado. There was like one session where we tried them when they first came out, and I just haven't got around to actually finishing them now. I have friends who have even been like, anytime you want to, we'll do a raid, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool, and at some point I'll actually do it. But raids remain the most challenging thing, specifically because it's a maximum of 4 players. Even if those players are all really overpowered, there's still some level of challenge to it, because what you don't end up with is 10 overpowered people all attacking the same enemy. And this is a situation where I think Bethesda can never really win, because if they ramp up the difficulty of these infestations, then yeah, it will be more of a challenge for the high level players, but then low or even medium level players, or any casual players like myself, will never stand a chance. Like I mentioned earlier, when I came across one of these infestations on my own, it was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a challenge, but it's one that I could eventually get through and manage. However, if they ramp up the difficulty to match with all of the overpowered builds and being like 12 times as many people as just me on my own, then they'd have to make it so difficult that any solo players would never be able to do an infestation, even if they had an overpowered build. Like, it's a situation where they can't really win, and I think they're doing the best they can in making something challenging and rewarding for players, but the player base is a bit too strong, and too numerous on the servers that, yeah, you just show up and it's over. Like, there were multiple times where, even right now, they're actually doing a thing that for the first 2 weeks of this being live, there's more infestations than there'll normally be, and they show up more frequently, but I kept getting to a point where it was just, oh, the map is empty, there are no green circles, because the kill squad just jumped between each of them, and in like 10 minutes the entire map is cleared. So yeah, Infestations are very, very cool. And I think that maybe once the hype and the buzz of this all being brand new has kind of died off, then they'll hit like the really good point where they sometimes show up and they're just this fun thing which players are like, oh, now we've got this added difficulty spike, let's get the team together to go after it, we'll all show up rather than just questing on different areas, and it'll be like a fun challenge that unites people. But right now, it's just people who have been playing this game for like 8 years at this point, basically, just stomping through everything and making a cakewalk out of what is supposed to be a challenging bit of content. Still, is a lot of fun, and I think a very good update. If you are considering jumping back into Fallout 76, then yeah, it's another good thing you'll hopefully enjoy. And if you're worried that you're too weak and puny and haven't played the game enough, don't worry, you'll instantly have like half a dozen people with miniguns and plasma casters or whatever just show up and shred the enemy for you, so no challenge there. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Do hit the like button if you did, and you can subscribe and stuff. I sometimes cover 76. It's mostly character builds at the moment, but I want to do more videos like this and some more video essay style stuff. Feel free to just scroll through my videos if you want to see what the channel's all about. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. Sarge out.